Right, so hello everyone, and welcome to our channel Physiotrendz. Uh, this live specially is about the how to do your NPTE exam preparation or PCE exam preparation, and what all information you should know about PCE Canada and NPTE USA. We have with us very talented Ravneet sir, Mr. Ravneet Singh, Dr. Ravneet Singh, who is uh, who is the founder of PCE Canada Final Frontier and also content expert at NPTE Final Frontier. I'm sorry for that. And sir is going to tell us all about everything that how to apply for the NPTE PCE as well as how to process for PCE NPTE and what is the difference between working in Canada or USA in the as a physiotherapist, licensed physiotherapist, and all the information you require if you wish, if you have a dream to become a licensed physical therapist to work in USA or Canada. So over to you, sir, and welcome to you on my channel Physiotrendz, and thank you so much for accepting this and coming live with us, sir.
Thank you, Prem. I appreciate it for organizing this kind of webinar. Hello, everyone. My name is Ravneet Singh, and I'm a US-based physical therapist. I've been into this industry for more than 10 years now, and I hope that everyone's doing well. And thank you, everyone, for joining us during the live session with Physiotrendz. Special thanks to Dr. Neeraj from New York, who organized this session with us, who took this initiative with Physiotrendz through his organization and prepare everything and help us to go live. So I'd like to talk about a few things that why do you need to attend this session. You may have seen a lot of online webinars. We're talking about Canada, talking about other countries. So what is going to be something different about this session? I can tell you with a guarantee that the groups that I'm going to talk in this session are the biggest groups in the United States and in Canada. We have almost 26,000 people. We have a community of 26,000 PTs in our Facebook group. We have almost 9,000 PTs all over the world in our Facebook group in Canada. And we have almost 9,000 PTs all over the world who are just talking about the process of becoming licensed in the United States. This is going to be the biggest difference between all the webinars that you may have seen and in this one, that the support system that we are going to create, the support system that we successfully have created in last probably 5 years is impeccable. All right, you name anything, we'll be able to provide you, with concrete answers, references, and the living proof. All right. So I will just wait Mr. Prem to join in again. I think there's some technical issues on his side. He will come back and he will start sharing the screen with us. All right, Prem, I don't think we can hear you, but if you can share the screen, the slides, maybe we can start
Yes, yes,
talking about
sure,
it.
sir. Sir, can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, perfectly fine.
Okay, sir. Fine, sir. Sir, I think you have to start sharing the screen, and then I will be able to put it on the screen, sir.
Sure.
Yes.
Are we good?
Uh, it has not come yet, sir.
Okay.
Hmm.
How about now?
Yes, sir. Now I can do it, sir. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. All right, I can see the chat on the side, and if you have any questions, you can ask me in the chat. So, a little bit about myself. I've been working in the industry of physical therapy for almost 6 years now, into the teaching, but I've been practicing as a PT for almost 10 years now. Um, I'm associated with NPTE Final Frontier, which is the biggest and the most intensive plan for your preparation in the United States. I'm the founder of the PCE Final Frontier, which means that we can help you to prepare for your exam in Canada. if you want to start practicing in Canada. I'm Chief Information Officer in one of our nonprofit organization. I can guarantee you that this is the biggest organization in the United States, which has been created by the foreign trained PTs, people like us, and foreign trained PTs, people like you. Okay, and special thanks to Physiotrendz and Dr. Neeraj to organize this session. I'm gonna go over the slides and the information and a lot of content about NPTE, PCE, and about the process. All right. Now, the first thing, let's talk about Canada. Excuse me. So in order to practice in Canada, the minimum education that you require is BPT, Bachelor's in Physical Therapy. If you're from India, Philippines, Nigeria, or Abu Dhabi, or wherever in the world, if you have a basic bachelor's degree in physiotherapy, you are eligible to take the exam in Canada. All right. There are two exams in Canada. I'm gonna say there were two exams in Canada, written PCE and clinical PCE. From last couple days, the Canadian Alliance are trying to cancel the clinical exam, but I don't want to say that it's completely canceled because anything can happen within next 3 to 4 months about it. They have different options. If you are if you are licensed in Canada with your written PCE, then there's a criteria that you have to fulfill in order to start practicing as a registered physiotherapist. All right. Right now, if you had a license for almost 1 year, and if you cleared your license for almost 1 year and you have practiced and you have at least 1,200 hours of login, then you will be given a full license in Canada. All right. Now, what are the requirements to start practicing in Canada? If you're in any of the countries and if you're thinking to come to Canada, a few things that you have to do, that you have to take degree evaluation, which can be done from the alliancept.org. I've given you the links. You can see it on your screens. For the PCE registration also, you can go through alliancept.org. So basically what happens is when you want to take exam in Canada or USA, there are some agencies who are going to evaluate your degree evaluation. Once you pay the fees for the evaluation, excuse me, they are going to send you some information, and they want that information from your colleges or universities that you had done your bachelor's in physiotherapy. So you send the documents, you send the IELTS, and you get eligibility to take the exam. All right, it's not difficult procedure. It's a simple procedure. If you need any help, I'll give you the links. You can contact us and we'll be happy to help you with that. All right. So this is the basic information for the PCE, that you requires at least bachelor's. If you don't have master's, it does not matter. You do not require master's to start practicing in Canada. All right. So these are the new regulations that were announced on January 12 by Canadian Alliance of Physical Therapy Regulation in Canada, which means I'm gonna just give you a small summary of what it was. Basically, in Canada for last 2 years, ever since the COVID happened, they were not able to take the practical exam for thousands of PTs. And their licenses were stuck because they were not able to take the exam. They tried to take the exam, but there were some technical issues on the online programs. So right now, they decided to cancel the clinical exam in Canada. We don't know if it's going to be permanent. Mostly it's going to be permanent, but we don't know if it's going to be provincial, which means there are some conditions for you to attain complete license. Probably they would want you to practice at least 12 months as a resident physiotherapist, and then you will be complete registered therapist. Probably they'll ask you to have at least 1,200 hours of working. Probably, excuse me, the province that you're selecting would have different regulations from different provinces in Canada. All right, so if you are a Canadian physio who have practiced at least 1 year for last 1 year, that means you are mostly eligible to get your complete license. So you're not interim physio in Canada right now. It's something that's in the conversation right now, that what's happening and what's going to happen in future. But for now, if you're planning to come to Canada, the only thing you have to remember is that you have to go through the evaluation through alliancept.org. Go to the website, start checking out their regulations, and if you have any questions, you can let us know. Now, if you're planning to come to United States, also requires minimum bachelor's of physiotherapy if you want to take the NPTE, National Physical Therapy Examination. All right. If you want to practice in United States, there are some different regulations. All right. In order to practice in the United States, either you have a valid visa or you have a green card. Now, if you want to work as a temporary worker, which is called H-1B visa, a lot of people in the United States come on student visa, and then you apply for the work visa. In order to apply for the work visa, you require minimum master's or a degree which is equivalent to master's. It can be transitional doctorate in physical therapy. It can be master's in anything. If you have MBA after your bachelor's, that's completely fine. Okay, if you don't have masters in the United States, that's also completely fine. You need to have a master's in order to apply your work visa, right? In order to start practicing in United States, you need to first get your license, which means, excuse me, you need to pass your NPTE. In order to pass your NPTE, you need to get your degree evaluation. If you remember, we just talked about degree evaluation in Canada. The same way you have to get your degree evaluation in the United States. And the biggest agency that performs the evaluation is fccpt. All right, the link is fccpt.org. You can go to the link, you can look around things. Or if you want more information, you can go to FaxPT. I'll give you the link later on uh, about the FaxPT, which is the biggest nonprofit organization where you can ask your questions about the USA processing. And if you want a consultation, that's like minimal prices. They're doing a great job. All right. So one more time, I'm going to summarize everything for NPTE. In order to take the NPTE, you need at least bachelor's. Okay, you would need TOEFL, and you would also require to do your degree evaluation. All right. In order to start practicing, which means in order to start practice as a physical therapist, you need a valid visa. Valid visa could be H-1B, which is temporary workers visa. Valid visa could be H-4, which is spouse visa. If a person has H-1B, the spouse can have H-4, or it can be an open work permit if you have a different situation. If you have a green card, some of the states may not even require your master's degree. You have a bachelor's degree, you apply for authorization for work through your partners, and you're okay to go start practicing. All right, great. Moving on to the differences between Canada and USA. There are some similarities between both the processes, but there are major differences. For example, if you talk about USA, only TOEFL is acceptable. So if you are going for the USA, don't get into IELTS, get into TOEFL. Okay, the agency for the evaluation is going to be fccpt. All right, you may require masters or TDPT to practice in Canada if you are applying for H-1B. If you have a green card, you will not require masters. It's not mandatory. All right. The rules may differ from state to state. There are almost 50 states in the United States. And if you, let's say, if you want to practice in Delaware or if you want to practice in California, the rules may be different. Though it's only one exam, it's a national exam, you don't have to take the license exam again. But there may be some other requirements. For example, Delaware may require jurisprudence exam, which is offline. California may require jurisprudence law exam, which is very simple according to the physical therapy practices, rules and regulations. It's going to be prometrics. The application fees for every state can differ. There are very minor changes from state to state, which is not difficult to fulfill, which means you can transfer your license from one state to another by just fulfilling those simple requirements. So that's for the USA. If you want to practice in Canada, then you want to preferably take IELTS. All right, and the agency for evaluation is going to be Alliance PT. I gave you the link before, alliancept.org. You can go there and apply for your evaluation and take the exam. Now there used to be two exams in Canada, but right now there's only one exam in Canada, that's written PCE. Hopefully that the life of Canadian PTs becomes more easier, where they cancel the clinical exam completely. But again, we don't know completely if they're going to cancel it or if they're going to keep it, depending on the provinces. So I don't want to say that it's completely canceled. which is why we're still considering that there are some chances that the Canada would have clinical exam. All right. Now let's talk about similarities between the USA and Canada. The things that you have to do for Canada and USA: degree evaluation. The agencies are different, but the process is almost the same. You have to get through the degree evaluation. Okay, which means sometimes you have to take prerequisite courses. Usually for Canada, there's only one course that you'll have to take, that is healthcare ethics course, which can be done from University of Toronto or Alberta. It's a very easy course. You can do it in about 2 to 3 weeks. It doesn't take a lot of time. But for USA, you may need to take probably 5, 6, or 7 courses, depending on your evaluation, the year of your degree, and right now what is your education, like you have masters, DTPT, or only bachelor's. So these are some similarities between USA and Canada. Other similarities can be English proficiency. Both the countries require you to take the English exam. For Canada, it's mostly IELTS, and for USA, it's mostly TOEFL. All right, both the countries have national license exam. The license exam for Canada is called Physiotherapy Competency Exam, which is PCE, and for US it's called NPTE, which is National Physical Therapy Examination. Both the countries would require a legal status to work, which means you cannot work if you don't have authorization to work. So in Canada, you need a workers visa, and in the USA also you need workers visa or EAD. I don't know if you understand EAD, so let's not get into that. We'll help you to understand about the process probably in the later phases when you're into the process and you're in touch with us for the processing and the examination preparation. But for now, what you have to understand is that these are few things that you really require. Let's say if you're in second year of bachelor's degree, third year or fourth year of bachelor's degree, or you're into a master's program in any of the countries, you need to start working on the process depending on the requirements that I'm showing you on the screen, so that you can save some time. You don't have to wait for the degree to be finished, and you can start working on your grades, you can start working on your documents, you can start working on your English proficiency for it to be valid by the time you're ready to take the exam. All right. So in order to prepare for the NPTE, if you're ready with your evaluation, or if you're into the evaluation process and you want to practice, you want to prepare for the NPTE, you can email at enrollment@nptefinalfrontier.com. You can write it down or you can take a screenshot. However, if you want to prepare for PCE, you can email at support@pceff.com for the PCE preparation. And if you want consultation regarding the USA or Canada, you can email at contact@fsbpt.org. For example, if you're like, hey, I want somebody to talk to me for half an hour and want me to give one step at a time, what you need to do now, next, you can book a consultation at contact@fsbpt.org. As I said, this is the biggest community where PTs all over the world. It doesn't matter which country you're coming from. We have PTs from Philippines, Nigeria, UK, India, Pakistan, Dubai. I think you can name any country, Mexico, Canada, who can help you to understand the process and who can help you to get through, to prevent the mistakes. You know, a lot of people have made mistakes in their processing, and their evaluation and their licenses have been delayed. So we don't want you to go through that. We want you to have a better preparation for your evaluation and a better preparation for your degree evaluation and your examinations. So I'm here to answer any of these questions if you want. I'm going to look at the YouTube if I can see any questions, and I'm happy to answer any of these questions. Dr. Prem, if you have received any questions from our attendees beforehand, you can probably let me know.
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you so much for providing this basic information. Actually, we all were in very and like need of this information. And sir, before I ask people's question, I have a question to ask, which is, sir, okay, we got to know about the similarities and differences between the PC and NPT and also Canada and USA. But people also wants to know, sir, that what will be the changes in lifestyle if you are staying in Canada or USA? Will it be same or it will be different, sir?
Mostly the lifestyle in Canada and USA is same. Well, it depends on the place that you choose. For example, if I live in Los Angeles, all
Mm-hmm.
right, um, or if I live in New York. Okay, the
Okay.
life in New York is a little faster. The life
Okay.
in LA is also faster, but if you're living in, let's say, New Jersey, it's little slower than the New York. So if you are from a small town like me, I come from
Mhm.
Amritsar, it's a small town, it's not very fast. I love living in Anaheim and Pasadena, which is close to Los Angeles. I have a
Right.
lot of people who came from Mumbai and Pune. They love living in New York and New Jersey because the lifestyle is kind of similar over there. You know,
Right.
so if you compare the lifestyles between Canada and USA, now you see, if you want to live in Vancouver, which is on the west coast, you'll have similar weather conditions like California or Oregon on the west coast on the United States side, because both the countries share their borders. And if you want to
Okay.
live in Toronto, then you can expect more snow, and you can expect something like New York, because New York and Toronto shares the borders. So west coast and east coast weathers are going to be similar, but the practice is almost the same.
Okay. And sir, how easily we Indians can get adopted to all this situation? Is it like easy for us
Very
or it?
easily. Very
Okay.
easily. I think the community which has the maximum flexibility is Indians.
Okay.
We get involved. People love us, to be honest. I've never had any racial comments. Yes, people talk to me about my turban. Hey, what's on your head? And you have to kind of explain them. Oh, this is called turban. You don't call it hat because that's kind of religious thing, you know. So they respect it. I've never
Okay.
had any racial comments, throwing on me, and I've never had any bad experiences. People are really warm. If you see it, your personality reflects.
Right.
If you're mean to people, they'll mean to you, and if you're nice to people, I think that it's kind give and take. But
That's true.
I've never had any bad experiences, fortunately.
Right. And sir, one more question for from one of my channel viewer, which was that is it mandatory to have healthcare worker certificate? Just now you mentioned in that, but like, is it like compulsory or it's like you can waive it off?
You see, for every foreign trained PT, it's not just about Indians or Filipinos or Nigerians. For every
Mhm.
foreign trained PT, you have to go through the immigration, because you were
Okay.
not born in United States. So you have to go through the immigration process. Even though you have permanent residency, even though you have green card, doesn't matter. You have to go through the immigration process. And if you the immigration website for the United States is
Okay.
uscis.gov. Okay, uscis.gov. You can go there and type physical therapy. It says in order to practice in United States, you need to have a healthcare worker certificate. So
Okay,
I
sir.
would say 100% if you are a foreign trained PT, even if you got married in United States and you have green card, you are not exempted from healthcare worker certificate. However, the journey may be a little easier for you to attain that certificate. Let me
Okay.
explain a little bit more on that.
Mm-hmm.
I came on a student visa in United States. So then I applied for the healthcare worker certificate because I wanted to start working. I
Okay.
wanted H1B visa.
Mm-hmm.
The requirements for H1B for a student are different than a person who have a green card or permanent residency.
Okay.
So for them to have healthcare worker certificate is little easier than a person who is on H1B or who is on student visa. But that it's not. It doesn't mean that it's impossible or it's kind of so difficult that it ruins your life. No, the journey is very joyful. We have had our own challenges, but again, now we build up a lot of communities that can help people to attain to get through those difficulties, and we can help you with that.
Understood, sir. And
Mhm.
sir, as per you mentioned that in Canada, that PCE examination initially it was in two parts, and now only one part it is remain. And that also it's like a controversial. We don't know that whether it is going to sustain for future years or not. So in case if it is resuming that you have to give practical exam also in future, so is it really difficult for us to crack that exam, or it becomes easy as we stay over there?
Dr. Prem, let me tell you one thing: exams are never easy. Okay, they're tricky. You see,
Okay.
nobody can take the title of a physiotherapist from you. You know the human body, you know the anatomy, you know the physiology, pathophysiology, biomechanics, exercises, modalities, neuro PT, ortho PT, cardio PT.
Right.
The only difference between these examinations in Canada and USA is the exam pattern. The
Okay.
countries that we come from, we are asked, this is a question, and you write probably 2 to 3 pages on that. But in Canada and USA, it's multiple choice questions, which means there's only one correct answer. That's the biggest challenge for any foreign trained PT to cover. Okay, but the content, you see, I don't want to say somebody is better and somebody is not better, but I can tell you that when you start practicing in Canada and USA, you start feeling confident from the very first day, because the countries that we come from, we are taught very well. We're not
Right.
missing anything. Okay, we're not missing anything. It's just that you have to go through the process and evolve yourself into this culture, into this exam, and start thinking like an American or Canadian physiotherapist.
Okay.
Okay. Cultural competency is something that we can talk some other time, but it's more about the culture instead of the content. It's the examinations are based on the BPT, not on master's or PhD levels. They're based on BPTs.
Right.
I hope
Got
I
it.
answered the question.
So one question is there, that how much expenses it is, like it comes for like doing all the processing for FCCPT, FSBPT for the NPTE, as well as what will be the expenses for PCE, or you want to go to Canada?
It's a very tricky question, but I can give you an idea. All right. For example, for PCE, your initial evaluation may cost you $1,000. Your healthcare course can cost you around $400. Your IELTS can cost you about $200 to $300. So you're looking at $2,000 only for becoming eligible for the exam, and then the exam cost is going to be $1,000 Canadian, $1,000 again. So you're
Okay.
looking at around $3,000 or $2,500 to $3,000 for you to take the exam.
Okay.
Okay, but for the United States, the initial evaluation can cost you about 1,200 or $1,300. Um, then if you have any deficiencies, that can cost you, uh, it's not fixed. If you have deficiency in one course, you may get done with that course in $600. If you have deficiency in 5 courses, you may get done with $3,000. So it's not fixed. But for healthcare worker certificate, it's going to be $1,400 for US dollars. If you are going for TOEFL, that's I think about $180 for that, and prometric fees $85, or about $300 for that. Uh, Minimum, it's again going to be $2,500 for the United States for you to just take the exam.
Okay.
But
Yes.
if you go to a website Facts PT, I think on
Mm-hmm.
third link, if you see factspt.org, you'll be able to see a lot about that. You can look at various services, and or you can go to fccpt.org, where you can see the prices and everything about the
Okay.
evaluations.
Okay, sir. And sir, somebody has asked that any documentation coming from the university needs to send directly by the university. And what happens if the FCCPT does not accept any documents sent by you?
They don't accept any documents if you are sending. They want the documents sent by the university only. When you get the documents from university, it has to be attested. Now, because of COVID in recent past years, because of the mail services were delayed, and there were a lot of hassle about that. So what they did is that you can send the PDF of the
Mm-hmm.
documents, but it has to be still coming from the university. If they get to know that you're involved in the process, they may invalid the document and they may request the document again.
Okay. So, like, sir, in this, I have one question. Like, for example, I have studied from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Science, which is in
Right.
Bangalore. But
Mhm.
my college is in Mangalore. So now
Mhm.
it has to be like from university, or if it is going through my college mail ID, it is sufficient, sir.
Yeah, I think it's sufficient if you're sending it from college. It's the same
Okay.
thing. What they want is that the credits, the syllabus, and the courses. That's all they want. So it's okay to send it from your college.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mhm.
And sir, I have one question, that what is your opinion that if somebody is coming from any other countries out of USA or Canada, they should come directly after BPT or they should come after doing MPT? And in whatever the case, why?
Man, you're asking me difficult questions. Uh, Honestly, I don't want to comment on that. You see, but you have to look at your 5 year plan in your life. Wherever
Okay.
you are right now, look at where you want to be in next 5 years or in next 3 years. Let's say if you are in third year bachelor's degree and you eventually want to practice in Canada or USA, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you should come right after BPT. That's just my opinion, because you want to spend your life in Canada or excuse me, Canada or USA. So why do you want to spend money in India on your masters? Why don't you just do your masters or your transitional doctorate in physical therapy in the United States or Canada? So it's
Mm-hmm.
about the investment that you're making. Do you want to practice in, a lot of people ask me like, hey, what if I practice in India, gain some experience and then come to United States? Well, that's completely fine. Just look what's on stake. It's time and it's money. Okay,
Right.
if you have a master's degree and you're very passionate about teaching like me, okay, so if you want
Mm-hmm.
to teach in India or in any other country for some years, that's completely fine. But if, I believe, like, if you eventually want to get settled in Canada or USA, then why to spend money and time in any of those countries? Why don't you just come here, start evolving yourself into the modern PT world in the country that you want to live?
That's true, sir. That's true. And sir, how much difficult it gets to, like, okay, like we did the process, we also cracked NPTE or PCE. Then how difficult it is to get a job and like be like H1B or let's say on green card. Like how much difficult it becomes for physiotherapist.
uh okay, a lot of time what happens, people don't want to come to United States or in Canada. They're like, it's a 3 year process. Who's going to get into the 3 year process?
Mm-hmm.
It's 2022 right now. Okay, 3 year process, I'm just giving you a number. I'm not saying it's going to take 3 years. I'm just saying,
Okay.
let's say if it's 3 years, that means 2025.
Yes.
And you're like, I'm not gonna get into the stuff, but you want to start practicing in USA and Canada. After 3 years, it's going to be 2025. People who started the process in 2022 are living their dream in 2025. And people who think like, oh, it's a long time and I don't want to get into this stuff, they're still living in their own bubble. So when you talk about the difficulties, when you talk about the job profile and everything, I never thought that I would be able to practice independently in the United States, but it starts happening. Once you into the process, you start making your connections. You start talking to people. You get connected with us, and we'll help you to understand. We have a lot of services which can help you to make your resume. We can help you to find out good universities. We can help you to find out better job offers. We've been doing it for last like 5 to 6 years now. If you say what's the probability of getting a job, I can say 100%.
Oh, that's
Okay,
good.
I know I should not be saying it on record that everybody gets a job, but yes, everybody do get a job, you know.
Right.
But it's just that how do you make your resume? How are you working into the field? You know, I'll share a YouTube channel with you, Dr. Prem, where we talked about the job profiles, different areas that you can practice. I was the host of this webinar where I brought PhDs, DPTs, ortho
Oh,
clinicians, pediatric clinicians, where they talk about their experiences, and they're for different countries: Korea, Nigeria, India. Different countries. They talk about their experiences, about their job getting, and how they work. Maybe your listeners or viewers can take benefit from that.
that will be great, sir. And I'll also put that link in the description. So anybody wants to take that information, take it from this video. And so one more question which has come right now is after passing NPTE, immediately can we work?
Yes, you can, if you have a valid visa.
Okay.
If you come in the United States on F1 visa, you get 1 year period minimum, which is called OPT. It's called optional practical training period.
Okay.
So everybody who's coming on student visa, they have at least 1 year of OPT, which means once you have your license, you can excuse me, please, you can start practicing in the United States. However, once that period expires, you need to apply your work visa before that expires. That's called H1B,
Okay.
in order to have extension of workers visa, and you have more freedom to work in your H1B than your OPT.
Okay. And that H1B is given by the company which hires you, or you have to do it by yourself?
No, usually the company sponsors that. It's a process of almost $3,000 or probably $4,000, including the attorney fees, and the company sponsors you. So basically, you'll have to find an employer who can sponsor you.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So then, one more question is that, sir, can you please compare the both countries in income?
Okay. It's same.
It's same.
Any new grad in Canada, if let's say if you pass the exam for PCE like recently and you want to apply for your job, you're gonna get around somewhere between $40 to $45 an hour. Okay, now make
Oh,
your calculations, multiply it by 59 or whatever you want to. So usually you get to work 40 hours a week. So you
all
can
right.
multiply like 40 to $45. Mostly people multiply the biggest amount, like $45 and 40. That means you're making about $90,000 in a year. Okay. And same with well, it really depends on what area you're practicing. If you're working in metropolitan city, you're gonna get paid, but the living expenses are high. And if you're working in a rural area, then you're gonna pay higher, but the living expenses are lower. Okay.
Okay.
And in the United States also, it depends on the states. If the state that you're practicing has low living expenditure, they can give you $40 an hour. And if the state like California, which has higher expenditure, they can give you like 40 to $43 an hour for a new grad. And then slowly you build your resume. Probably down the road in like 4 to 5 years, your pay can go up to $3 to $4 higher.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you, sir. And then, sir, we have got one question saying that, yes, if we come on visiting visa to write the exam and after passing, we can work, or we need to apply for type 1 or H1 visa.
As I said, every person who wants to practice in the United States have to go through type 1. You cannot just work without type 1 because it's an immigration regulation.
Okay.
Your authorization to work in the states is an immigration concern. So if you're not going through the immigration, you're basically illegal in the country.
Oh,
So
okay.
you don't want to take that step.
Got this.
Mhm.
Yes. Then the next question is, how much minimum charges for physiotherapy treatment in USA? Like if somebody wants to take treatment, how much they will be charged?
Well, if you so in United States, either you can pay cash or you can go through the insurance. When you
Okay.
go through the insurance, probably you may not have to pay anything if you have a good insurance. So the prices, the cost would depend on the insurance you have. But if you don't want to use your insurance, then it depends on the therapist that you're seeing. Now you see, have you heard of Beverly Hills, Hollywood? It's an
Yes, sir.
expensive area, right?
Right.
So in an expensive area, they can charge you $200 for a visit. But if you
Okay.
are in a rural area, they can charge you about $50 per visit.
All
So
right.
it depends on the practice. Just like you practice in any other country, you
Right.
have
Right.
more expenses and then you take more money.
Understood, sir.
Yeah.
Next question is, sir, what if again visitor visa and or dependent visa already?
Mhm.
If I am eligible to take an exam and later on work, what is the requirement? Thank you.
Okay. If you have a what visa you said, visitor and
And dependent visa.
dependent visa, which means you're a
Yes.
spouse mostly. If you're a
Okay.
spouse and your partner have applied for your EAD, employment authorization card, if they have applied for that and they have the approval, yes, you can start working. But if you do not, then you can't. Again, EAD comes from the immigration. It depends if your partner has applied it and when they are expecting it to receive. As I said, you cannot work in the United States or in Canada if you don't have a legal status to work.
Okay. So fair enough. And so after passing NPTE, can we establish our own private clinic?
You need sponsorship. Okay.
Okay.
You need sponsorship. So the fixed answer is no. You cannot own a business if you don't have a green card or if you don't have a permanent residency. But there's a loophole. Nobody will tell you about that.
Okay.
Let's say if you are married,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and you're dependent. A dependent would get open work permit, which means a dependent can open their clinics.
Okay.
You understand what's happening here? So if you're on H1B and or if you don't have EAD, well, H1B person cannot, or H4 cannot open a clinic. But if you are married to someone who has green card,
Mm-hmm.
and or if you're married to someone who has open work permit, you can start your own business.
Okay, so I think
Even
that's
even
very
I
interesting.
believe H4, which means partner to the H1B, have an open work permit. They don't require sponsorships.
Okay, that's great, sir. Sender, one more question is there that after clearing written component of PCE from India, how can we apply for jobs?
You need to have good connections in Canada. You need to have your links. You need to have your references. So start building links. Go to LinkedIn, go to Facebook pages, start making connections and relationships with people. If you're a good PT and if you have connections in Canada, they can sponsor you. There's a process called LIMA process for the PR, permanent residency. They can hire you through India only. There's a legal fees for that. I don't want to go into that stuff, but
Mhm.
again, for any kind of job in any country, you need to have connections.
Okay, sir. And sir, I also wanted to ask you that process for attending the examination of PCE from Canada or from India, is it same or there is something extra we have to do if you want to apply it from, like if you want to write it from India?
No, there's no difference. Um, you can take the PCE right now. Excuse me for my coughing. You can take PCE right now from anywhere in the world.
Oh, okay.
If you're living in India and you want to take the exam, so let's say if I'm in my room right here, I have a camera in front of me, I have a computer in front of me, I need a mirror right here, so
Okay.
that somebody who's observing me knows that there's nobody around me. you know so
Okay.
before you start the exam, you have to rotate the camera and show that this is my room and this is my setup. There's nothing around, no book, no notes, and nothing, and you have a mirror behind you, because uh, they want you to take the exam under observation. But if you have a good internet connection, I have a team member, her name is Dr. Kriti Singh. She's in Bhillai, I guess, and she's a former assistant professor from DY Patil University, and she took her exam in July and she passed in her first attempt in India.
Wow, that will be nice that you're sitting at your home and giving exam and passing the PC. That will be
Oh
something
yeah,
amazing.
there's a big factor of anxiety which is not there. You go
Oh,
to Prometric Center and there's a different environment. The vibe is
right.
completely different in your house. You're very comfortable with your structure. So the anxiety is less in your house. So I think for anyone who is thinking about taking the Canadian exam, you should rush it, because not rush in the terms of preparation, but rush in terms of credential evaluation, because right now you have the opportunity to take the exam from anywhere in the world. Just grab it.
That's true. That's true, sir. So one more question I got is apart from USA and Canada, any other countries to practice physiotherapy? Any view on Australia?
Australian PTs are very competitive. Australian board is very competitive as well. They also have written and clinical exam. I don't deal with Australian, but I have good links. I have established PTs in Australia. And Dr.
Mhm.
Prem, I can give you the link. Maybe you can give it to your viewers about the
Yes, sir.
Australian
I will
PT.
share it in the description as well so that all the viewers can go through the link which
Right.
serves me. And okay, so rest all the questions are again repeating. I think about the PC again and the process of the PC and NPT, which you have already explained us beautifully. So I request all the viewers who have not seen that you can just go through this video again. I'll be posting this video again on my channel, Physiotrendz. So you can again go through all the information again if you want to. And I'm really sorry for the initial little bit of the problem which occurred in the live session. And once again, sir, thank you so much. You have been helping lots of students with your knowledge. And again, thank you so much that you're doing this. This will be a really big help for all the students outside USA who are dreaming to come to USA or Canada and work as a physiotherapist.
You're welcome, Prem. It was fun talking to you and your viewers. And I wish you success. You're doing a great job. I see your videos. I subscribe to your channel, and there's a lot of new information. I think people like you set up an example of entrepreneurship in physical therapy world. You know, I just want to take one more minute, and I don't want to go beyond the time limits. When we are in our bachelor's degree and we are just into the undergrad degrees, you know how 5 or 6 of our friends sit together and talk about, you know what, one day we'll open our own clinic and we'll start practicing together. We'll make money together. We make a lot of plans when we are into the process. Because we are not aware about the real world. So I really appreciate, Dr. Prem, that you have your channel and you have good following, and you're following your passion of teaching people and bring a lot of guests on your channel. And I see a lot of ergonomics and exercises descriptions on your channel. So I think people really need to learn from people like you, like how to be unique. So I appreciate you and Dr. Neeraj for Dr. Neeraj from NPTE Final Frontier for organizing this session and giving me this opportunity to interact with a lot of people. I think it's important for us to stay connected with the roots that we come from.
Yes, sir, definitely. Even I will like to thank Neeraj sir for introducing me to you so that we could connect and have this wonderful chat about the NPT and PCE.
Yeah, he's definitely a gem. Thank you, Dr.
Yes.
Dr. Neeraj and Dr. Prem.
Thank you so much, sir, for connecting. We'll be in touch for further queries. Anything is there, I'll just disturbing you for the same thing, sir.
No
Please
problem.
bear with.
No moderations.
Yes.
Anytime.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. You all have a good one, and thank you for listening to us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, sir.